Welcome everyone to the 100th episode of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours. I'm your host, Tonya, and we're here with Reece and Thomas and Kim, and we're celebrating 100 episodes. So thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in to CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours, we do this every day of the week, Monday through Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And our members bring us Bubble bugs, feature requests, and topics. We welcome everything related to Bubble here. If you would like to join us for a complimentary session of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours, you can go ahead and comment on the live on Facebook or on the video replay in YouTube, and we'll get back to you with credentials. You could also email us at team@cocreativenocode.com. Welcome, Reece. Welcome, Thomas. How are you? They're both on mute.
Yeah, doing well. Good, thanks.
Awesome. I don't know, did we bring anything or are we just hanging out today?
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. All right. Well, I updated my screen. That was my big celebration of 100 episodes. So, yay. I don't know. We had a request. Someone had asked about building a funnel builder with Bubble, but what interests you? Are there any things you want to prototype or try to do in Bubble today?
When you say you, are you?
I mean, anybody on the call?
Can't think of anything in particular. I keep my mind constantly wants to bounce back to backendless. Like I want to see a comparison between one database and the other, But
oh, gotcha.
But I'm sure that's a lot more complicated to do in one go. So.
Yeah.
Because if backend that back end solution, you could really do anything with Bubble, right?
Yeah, so you can, so that's a good point. The limitations of Bubble. I just had a client ask me this last night. It was 9:30 my time, but morning time, her time. She's in Australia. And she asked, she's like, what are the limitations? What can't I do with Bubble? And the limitations, it's not that Bubble doesn't have limitations, but they're really once you understand that you can incorporate code into Bubble's no code platform, the whole world of possibilities opens up. I think Bubble's database compared to backendless as a database is limited. Not I think, I know it's limited. One of the limitations is not being able to create flexible views. So a lot of times we have to go into the database and we'll have to make redundant references from one table to the other, just because when we go in to display data on a page, group and specific records of a data type, but I want to display fields from other data types, it gets cumbersome for, well, that doesn't work. Oh, I'm on the index page. I wasn't intending to be. Let's see here. Let's see, so repeating group. Here. So if I want to make a repeating group of something specific, like media here, but then I want to reference what media is attached to, like that can get cumbersome. Whereas with backend lists, I can create a table, and it's a virtual table, and
I don't
that you
know.
have data types just like you have in Bubble and backend lists, but you know, are you there?
Yeah, you're just breaking up. I don't know if that's my internet or not.
Kim, is it his internet or is it mine?
I think it's yours.
It's
You're breaking up a
mine.
bit. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Let me hang on a second, just a second. You guys can take over for a moment.
What are you guys building?
We are talking about
Nothing yet.
Ah,
We're going. We're talking about that there's real that the limitations are perceived in a bubble, you know. From the backend database perspective, you can connect to a faster database that can do better things faster. Maybe not better things, but just faster. Better views.
Is my audio better yet?
sounds okay to me.
Pretty good, yeah.
Better.
What?
Cool. All right. Did you bring thing, Jay?
No, I have no problems. I would like to show my onboarding if there's time.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm pretty
I was
excited.
getting boring there for a second.
I would definitely love feedback, and although I have trouble accepting criticism, I know it's a gift. So this is the
Okay.
sign in. Oops, I don't think that matters, but okay.
Do you intend to share?
Can you see? Oh, forgot to click the extra click. Okay, can you see now?
Mhm.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show you that. I put an explanation in. I'll show you later. Okay, let's get you set up. I took the lessons from that useronboard.com teardowns, and I just followed a lot of his advice. And a lot of what he said was tell people what you're doing, tell them how much there is, you know, let them stay oriented. So I put an explanation of why I'm asking for permission to access photos and location. If they want to see the terms of service, they're right there.
Nice.
Only one of these is clickable, so you have no choice but to upload a pic. Let's say you have done that. You pick your username. It does a check to make sure that it's not taken. And then boom. Share your location. Another explanation of what we're going to do. I got to fix that language, but another explanation. You know, I suffered a lot with this. This is not supposed to show until you click no, but I forgot to fix it. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's correct, but I did autocomplete.
I think those are two different provinces in Canada.
Oh, I would have no idea. Sorry, Canadians.
You could try Victoria, BC. That would work.
It'll put something in on the database. I don't know how to make this better. I don't like it the way that you have to come down here and click, but when you click, it should go away. I got to fix that. Okay, and then the zone if relevant. Okay. And I was messing with this last night. Clearly, there's some things that I forgot to fix. I'm going to go and show you anyway, if you don't mind being patient for a second.
I don't.
Okay, let's see.
Friend.
Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Welcome.
Fine, thank you.
Juan is here,
Congratulations.
everyone. Thank you. Thank
What
you.
are we congratulating you on?
Like the 100th episode.
Did you
From-
Oh,
receive?
wow.
It's the 100th episode.
Let me hide that.
You've been here since episode 1, Jay.
I know, I'm
I
like,
think, yeah, you and I are the only ones here who were on episode 1. I'm trying to get Callum to join, but he's not
if I'd
answering.
known, I would be drunk.
Right? Um,
Okay, so when you go through all these, I hope I have the right one showing, you get eventually to this. All that other stuff is hidden. And this is the final step, and it's the tour. Okay, all that's hidden. So all you can see is this now. And it tells you, yeah, it tells you what the services are, explains each tile. And now we're in social. Same thing. Now we're in stuff. And this is home. And then the last thing, just showing where to get in and out. And then it takes you to the index.
awesome.
What do you guys think of that as a user experience?
I'll go first. I think it's good, but I think I would offer the option to exit at any point, because I think I would probably get frustrated and want to exit that
Okay,
intro. Some people would want to read everything because they're very interested in knowing everything up front. But a lot of times I will skip the onboarding when it's offered to me to allow me to skip. And if you don't allow them to skip, maybe show them some sort of progress so they know how many more screens they have to go through before they're done. Because
I feel like
otherwise they don't know.
yeah, you're absolutely right. They don't know. There could be 100 under services.
Right.
That's a great idea. And I think that out of the two, I think I'd prefer to give them an exit because there's so much stuff happening on that screen already.
Right. Yep. So that's my 2 cents.
That's
Anyone
good.
else
That's
have
good
any?
sense. Thank you. Thank you.
I agree with Tonya.
Okay. You've been seconded.
And Thomas, he unmuted there for a second.
I was gonna suggest shortening the text, but Tanya's suggestion was pretty good because users just something about reading, like when you're on a site, it's not like you're reading in a book. You know, for whatever reason, we just move much faster when we're skimming really quickly on sites.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard for me to give you actual feedback on friction of your user step by step because it's like I'm not going through it, you're going through it, and I'm watching you go through it. But I would love to test it myself. I'm not a gardener, but I do like stealing people's plants and then replanting them in my house. Not stealing it, like putting it in water and growing the roots. And
You're a plant thief. So your username is, instead of what's you have plant assassin, right?
yeah, I'm literally
Floor
Okay.
assassin.
You're the
Floor
plant
assassin.
thief. Floor assassin and he's plant thief.
I get like anxious.
That's
I'm-
awesome.
My heart's beating. I just stole this pothos over here. I said, that's the funniest part.
Oh my goodness. Let's not get you arrested. But actually, Jay, can you go back on the screen and then
Sure.
I want to look at that piece where you were frustrated because you didn't want the user to have to click Canada beneath it to select it.
Yeah.
And that's actually an issue that Juan and I were just asked to fix in another app at AirDev. And maybe that's something we could try, because I think, Juan, you said you like knew of or had heard of a plugin that could help us do that. So maybe that's something we could try to tackle today. It's a little
Which
thing.
plugin? Sorry.
So when she's in her sign up mode, she gets to a point where like selecting the country, it shows the country, but you have to it autofills it but you still have to select it to get it to stick. So so remember what Brendan was asking about, wanting to auto select the suggestion in the input.
Okay, so like to
Like,
create
see where
and then go to another row.
yeah, so see where she's typed in CANA and Canada is underneath. She has to click Canada to get it to fill in there. The question is can we type in CANA and then tab out of it and it will automatically like pick up the best suggestion?
No, I don't think so. I will need to check it, but I don't think so. So only
Yeah.
typing 3 letters and go for the first option? And
Yeah.
like select the option?
Mhm.
No.
Because
No, I don't
yesterday
think
you were
so.
talking about some sort of hacky way of putting an input within an input or something like that.
Yes, that was to like create, like to force a tab from an input to a button. So you can like with enter, press the button instead of clicking on it. But I'm not sure if this will work with this.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard that complaint several times now where like they want the first suggestion to be like automatically in there so that you don't have to click the suggestion in order to get it to stick. But well,
What happens when
autocorrect,
you
right?
click enter? What happens when you click enter?
Give me a
Nothing?
second to find, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find my cursor. Where'd it go?
Oh, I see
You
it
do some-
moving. That's
There it
weird.
is. Okay. So just click enter now.
Yeah.
What'll happen is it'll save that CA as the country in the database.
Got it.
Or it'll do nothing. I'm not sure which, one of the two.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think what I'm gonna end up doing is having it so that I'll have each one of these save as they go through it. And then once that's populated in the database, this will be hidden and it'll look different. I mean, they'll see that it's there. But the problem is there's no confirmation of success.
Maybe I have an idea.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this works, but this is a repeating group behind it,
Yes.
below the input. Can you add a multi-dropdown selector?
Yes. I mean, do a draw. Yeah, I could do that.
But use it only with maximum 1 item and without displaying like the delete or yes. Maybe this can work. I'm not sure, but maybe. Or also like with a search box input instead of that.
Say that again. I don't understand the last part.
Oh, sorry. Let's begin with the multi-dropdown so we can test it.
Okay.
Has a copy and paste all of the country.
I did copy and paste all the countries. I was like, I couldn't think of a better way. There they are. Okay, so that shows up.
But type only like CA and then enter and see what happens, please.
It just highlights the country I started to type.
Okay. But this is a dropdown. Can you add a multi-dropdown, please?
A multi.
I'm not sure if you need. Yes, I'm not sure if you need to install the plugin. It is from Babel.
Do you know what it's called? Multi-line? No, that's not it.
I think you need to go to the plugins and install it.
Okay. And do you know what it's called? Or just try drop?
I think it's multi-file up.
Multi. Can you type multi? And then I think we will find it.
Okay, I just typed it and now we're gonna wait a while.
Yes, sometimes Bubble is slow there. I don't know why.
Multi-select dropdown? No, that's not
Yes.
bubble.
But it is from Bubble. No, this is not. Maybe type multi-dropdown. Sorry. Or selector. I'm not sure how. Or without the space, maybe. Drop. Oh, multi-select
There it is.
dropdown. There, this one. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Did I click away too quick? Yes. I thought I installed it. Darn it. Oh,
Don't worry. I think you need to click again add plugins,
yeah,
but maybe you can type multi-select.
it's in.
Oh, it is in. Okay. So can you go to design, please? And add that item, please. Or maybe you can do like replace by. And
Oh,
this
too
is
late.
yes.
How's
Okay.
it going? I keep
And in maximum
Getting-
items, can you type 1, please?
Ah, I see where
Yes.
we're going.
Yes. Maybe it works. I'm not sure. It is like
We'll
trying
find
to
out.
find a workaround. And then we can try also with a search box input. Maybe this can works. The search box too.
Okay.
you guys hear me.
Yeah.
Yes. CA and enter or
And enter.
yes.
Okay.
It worked?
I mean, it looks better. I think it's a better experience. You get immediate confirmation. Let me see
Yes.
what
And you
happens.
can
Nothing.
I mean, you can, for example, change this gray out and delete the
Like
X
style
or
it. Yeah.
yes, you can. And also, can you add a search box input? This is another option in the
Okay.
editor, please. Search
Yeah.
box. This is a data type or this is an option set?
The countries, they're an option set.
Okay, yes, that's great because we'll be faster.
Okay, so with here,
Yes, define.
placeholder? Ah,
Yes.
there we go. doesn't
Oh,
seem.
this doesn't allow option sets or vegetable categories option sets is an option set.
I'm not seeing it available.
Can you type option?
That's
This,
the thing.
this is an option set or this is a data type, name it
That
option
was-
set.
That's a data type.
Okay, seems that the search box doesn't allow to use option sets. No, sorry.
So, and there's nothing to, okay, worth checking though. Honestly though, this alone is better. It's already
Okay.
better. If they start typing, then I won't, I'll just change that language from choose to start typing or whatever. And then as they type in the name of their country, and it'll pop up, they'll be happy. I think that's much better. Thank you.
Okay.
Super useful. I
Don't worry.
did not know about that plugin.
Thank you. That's nice to use, for example, when you need to select like categories, for example, preferences of the user. I don't know too much your app, but I don't know, like which kind of plants. So select your 3 preferred, I don't know, type of plants or what do you learn, what do you want to learn in our app? So you can have like a list of skills and they can select 3 and you can use that to display different content for your users or for marketing purposes, or you can store
Yeah.
that list.
Yeah, that's definitely handy to have in the toolbox.
Yes.
Thank you, Juan.
Yes,
No
thank you.
worries.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
I had to join by my phone because my internet keeps cutting out. So
Ah,
it happens. Does anybody have anything else?
Yes. At what time is the cake?
when does our cake arrive?
Yes.
It's bring your own cake or order your own cake today.
Damn it.
It is self-service?
Self-service cake. Self-service cake. Try to join because I've been here for a minute. Let me try to join with my computer. Sorry for the noise if it causes issues. It is not working. So I won't be able to share my screen anymore for this episode. That's sad. It makes me sad.
Is this your new computer?
It's well, I mean, it's the internet, so it's affecting both of my computers.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
Good.
No, we're looking at changing internet providers and also getting me hardwired instead of on the Wi-Fi. But usually it hasn't been a problem. So this is just a recent issue. But anyway, we should talk about Bubble and not Tonya's internet issues. So what do we want to talk about?
Damn.
I've solved all of your Bubble problems. Everyone is
Forever. We're
Bye.
done. Bye.
Bye.
Nice to know you.
like 100 episodes was enough.
That means we've sat here 100 times together. I think I've only missed one. Well, no, if you're counting 5 days a week. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep track of my own attendance, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that we record them, we could go back and look. But Thomas has not missed a single episode since he joined us for his first. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah,
That's
not a
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
You
I-
need to give him a mug or something.
this is my accountability right here, to be honest, because I can't break this. I gotta keep going.
it's your chain, your unbroken chain.
What are
Yeah.
you working on now, Thomas?
So right now I'm working on a little project that thankfully to Tonya, she helped me out a little bit. But essentially what I want to do is there is the lean canvas. I'm sure you've heard of it. And if you haven't, it's just essentially a canvas with 9 different boxes. In each boxes, you determine like critical business functions that you need for a business to succeed.
Yes, I've used it.
Yeah. So I was
Can you
just
show
having-
your
Sure, I can have. Yeah, we do that. I will do so. Give me a second while I
thank you.
put the stuff here. All right, give me one moment. I literally never start a new project. I just like begin refactoring another one. Like, that's it. Well,
That's like the
there's
opposite of me.
Yeah, I'm like, there will be moments will it be useful. Though this time I had to erase all the data types because I kept getting confused, obviously. I want to show you the preview, but the preview is not properly connected. So I will just show you the lean canvas and then I'll show you a few steps. So the lean canvas, when you get the lean canvas, I was having a conversation with some Reddit users that just like reached out to them and was asking what sort of problems they dealt with when it comes to just creating ideas. And a lot of them just went along the lines of just like, where do we start with the idea?
Once they have the idea.
Yeah, and one guy had mentioned, I had thought the same thing. I was like, where do you start? And then I asked him, I was like, do you have any suggestions? And he suggested the lean business canvas. And then he started suggesting that it would be cool to have a sort of place where, it could walk you through each step one by one. Because when you look at the canvas alone, where do you start, right? I had mentioned this to Tonya the other day. It's pretty overwhelming to look at too many things at once. So the goal for this is to create a step-by-step process where each step asks you in order of importance. I still have to test that part. 3 critical pieces of information to those individual segments, right? So what are 3 problems that your potential customers face in order of importance? Who would your target audience be? And unique value proposition, what unique value are you offering that others don't? And essentially just that all the way down to step 9. This is not step 9. Is that step 9? I guess it is. Yep, this is step 9. All the way to step 9, unfair advantage. And then once you're done filling out all of these steps, this will auto-populate that information. And so once this auto-populates, if you don't like something, these are all inputs. You go in and you just adjust the language as you want. So right now, I still haven't had the chance to touch this because I got occupied with other things. But yeah, that's the goal, is to have those 2 as an option. Ideally, when you click publish or create a new canvas, you would have a pop-up that would say, do you want to go through it step by step, or would you like just the canvas alone? Because some people are seasoned veterans. I'm sure they wouldn't care to go step by step, but some might. So yeah, I think a lot of the process of idea creation is asking the right questions. And I think if you can nail the right questions or hit somewhere along those lines, you can get to pretty interesting things.
Agreed.
And this lacks questions. So,
What do you plan to do with this?
this is honestly just a UX experiment. Like I started with the goal in mind of, because I told you with the previous app it wasn't really going anywhere. So I was like, all right, let me start something new. And the problem was, I was like, damn, I have all these ideas and I test them, but they don't have legs. They don't do anything. Like, how do I quickly test to success, essentially? So I was starting to create a sort of community, something kind of like GitHub, where it was people would gather and like work together on ideas. And I concluded it would just be app ideas. Then I started to get to the place where like, why would people actually use this? You know, I started to get all, I started to answer or get or pop up with all these sorts of questions that I felt like couldn't answer. So I just went to a subreddit community called App Ideas, targeted people that had similar ideas and reached out to them and asked them, hey, how's your project going along, or what are you doing? One guy tried to argue with me about Bubble, and I was like, all right, man, I'm not here to convince you whether Bubble is for you or not. I was just curious to know what you thought about this. But one guy was really eager. One guy honestly just keeps messaging. He's like, so are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? I want to test your thing.
So I've seen other,
Say again.
I've seen other, I can't remember which particular ones, but I've seen other places where I can enter, you know, work with a lean business canvas on a screen, you know, and just populate it. Without being walked through it. But I mean, I've done a lot of marketing stuff, so I don't have a problem with that. But I think that where there's maybe more opportunity here is to what happens to the output. Like if this was accepted and getting used, then you could do stuff with a next step, particularly in the stages like channels, where there's more planning to be done. And you could kind of drill down. So once they did the lean business canvas, they could eventually bulk it up to where it's enough to actually put together their whole business plan.
Yeah, my goal is to definitely expand. This is kind of just an iterative idea. One of the next steps I wanted to take, I'm looking for the group and I have not named, I named it something and now I can't find it.
I know the feeling. We all know the feeling.
That's why you need the symbols that Juan uses.
Yeah, I know. I started that, but then I started going back to, I just want to focus on this idea. But essentially I have I'm just gonna, no, I'm not gonna show you that because there's sensitive information there. So essentially what I want to do, I'll just explain it because I can't find that damn group, is that when you create an idea, you have your lean canvases and then you have the create button, and then below you would have all the canvases you created. One of the things I want to do is allow kind of this sort of same structure step by step, and then also just the canvas alone for other things like SWOT analysis, for example. And then, like you said, get to the point where you're expanding into taking it to the next step. So yeah, I'm just taking it step by step, just having fun with it. Nothing too crazy. No conclusions.
Awesome.
I
What
think
are
it would be helpful to have a place for them to also upload pictures for the problem section. I'm thinking about all my engineering customers, you know, a lot of the times when they're explaining a problem, they just have a picture of a valve, you know, whatever.
A valve? What do you mean by valve?
Oh, like, you know, if there's a leaking valve that, you know, like every pipeline is a leaking type of valve, we all know it leaks. Maybe they have a solution for that, and that's the problem. It would be nice to be able to add some pictures in there, not necessarily to show up here on this screen, but to have them in the database so they can click and see, because not all problems can be, some problems can be addressed better visually.
Guys, so you're saying for like the problem section here, example?
Mhm. Yeah, and maybe for the solution section as well, so there could be drawings.
Tony mentioned something really interesting where you click the problem box here and it opens a pop-up and it would populate all the answers because you probably won't be able to see it, or you'd probably have to scroll since it's a repeating group. But that would probably be like image and then description in a pop-up would probably look nice. Yeah, there's a lot to do with this. So I appreciate that. Definitely something to consider.
good work.
Yeah,
Just having fun.
Especially getting everything lined up like that.
I get so bored not doing something. Bubble, what I love about Bubble is that there's like literally always something to do.
Hey, Reece, what are you working on?
Hey, same for me. Just you know, little bits and pieces. Just piecing it all together. yeah, last couple of days I haven't done too much, but yeah, just doing what I can when I can.
Gotcha. And are you like able to share or not? Not yet.
Not just yet. Very soon. Very.
Wait.
I'll definitely show you guys once it's all up and running.
Yay, can't wait. That's exciting.
Awesome.
Trying to think of what I can, like, what I'm allowed to talk about that I'm working on. Juan and I are working on several things together.
What are they?
So one,
multiple apps?
yeah. What was that one?
Yes, but in multiple apps.
Yeah, like multiple. So I'm thinking we can talk about them functionality wise, even if we can't name them. So one thing that I'm doing right now is I'm scoping an API integration, and the repeating groups that I'm going to be populating are going to be populated with the returns from the API calls. And I don't think I've ever scoped anything like that or actually built anything like that, which is technically very close to what you would do when you're building with backendless as a database, right? This is all of your repeating groups are going to be populated with calls from.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So that's one tricky one that I'm working on. That's actually one of the scopes that I wanted to show you and get your thoughts and ideas on one later today. Yeah, so that's tricky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Also, some of the, for example, searches and all of that should be like you need to do the complete search on that server or whatever, because normally it only allows you to retrieve 200 items. So if you have filters on your side or something, you may miss like constraints on the complete whole set of results
yeah.
on the server. Yeah, it is, but yes.
Yeah, and I don't think the client actually understood how complicated what he was asking for is, because he thinks, oh, well, they have an API, so you can just grab all this information and pull it in and use it. I was like, well, not quite. So, yeah, but. And then let's see, what other cool functionality are we doing? Oh, we have to figure out, if anybody has any ideas on this, we have to figure out how to send information from the bubble app through an embedded iframe, 2 of them, to get information into a type form. So if anyone has any ideas on how to do that, we'd greatly appreciate it.
What is it you're trying to do?
So a client has a type form on a Squarespace page, and then has the Squarespace page embedded in an iframe into his bubble app.
God, that sounds horrible.
And it is, yes. And the challenge that he is having is that he's taking these survey responses and he's trying to figure out which user entered the survey. And as he has more and more users, that's becoming more and more tricky, because they're not like, it's not sparse, right? It's like multiple users might be finished surveys within a few minutes of each other. So the timing is getting difficult to pair it with the user. So what he doesn't want, the constraint that it feels like is particularly cumbersome to overcome here, is that he doesn't want the user to have to enter any identifying information in any of the survey questions, because technically the user is logged into the bubble app, so they're going to assume we should already know who they are. But we know who they are, we just don't know how to tell Typeform who they are. So that's tricky.
Yes, that will be maybe not doable. I'm not sure. Maybe with the URL
Oh,
parameter.
yeah, you're not doing that. I actually have the question into Eli looking at the feasibility of it. So that would be an internal, like, because that's definitely a JavaScript thing. And the biggest limitation, like we could probably do it if it was just one embed, but it's double embedded, right? Because the type form is embedded into the Squarespace, which is embedded into the Bubble app. So we'll see. Got we're doing a major redesign. I've never been a part of a major redesign on a Canvas app before. So that's exciting.
Damn. Like you're actually like going in and changing the way the elements look.
Yep. Reskinning the whole thing so it won't look like a Canvas app anymore, even though technically it will be a Canvas app.
So what's that like? Is it just redesigning, or do you have to do things in the background to get things to work properly?
Yeah, so this is it's going to be really challenging. So it's like probably going to be like 3 weeks turnaround, and
Wow.
like it's estimated right now at 50 hours of the designer's time. It will probably take more. And the thing is that the app is already built. So the design changes are going to be taking place on existing pages, and the designer is going to be challenged with the task of not breaking the app, not breaking functionality as he's making the changes. So it's this is not an inexpensive thing. It's definitely, like we usually tell our clients when they come to us, we're like, well, if you stick with Canva's design elements and you don't change it, like you don't deviate from Canvas standard, then it saves you a ton of money, because redesigning things and making them look exactly the way that you want them can, you know, double or triple the price.
What's
So.
What was I gonna say? What is there, like, what's the urgency to redesign it from the client's perspective? Are you allowed to talk about that?
In this case, it is that they didn't redesign at first. This is an app that's over a year old, and they're on an ongoing maintenance plan with AirDev. So they purchase capacity every month, and it's not necessarily urgent. It's now they're continuously working on improving the app and making the app what they want it to be. So
that takes a lot to have that iterative mindset where you don't think, thank God we're done. You think, what's next?
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges that I face as a product manager, is especially working with clients from the beginning, like where they're bringing their app idea to you and you're thinking through it with them from scratch. And this idea that because if you don't know, AirDev has wonderful processes. We've nailed down the initial build, right? So like you can come to AirDev and you can give us your idea and we will take it and we will turn it into a scope, and we will tell you exactly how much it will cost and how long it will take for us to turn that around into a functional app for you. Assuming the project isn't too big. Really huge projects, sometimes it has to be arranged because we can't predict it. But for the most part, you bring us your MVP idea, we will turn around a lean scope and we can tell you a fixed price on getting it done. And then the challenge though is that a lot of founders I've come across think, oh, I'm going to buy this full like scope thing, and then I'm going to go off and be able to like launch my tech product and I'll be good to go. And the thing that I would like to make very clear, so this is my PSA for the 100th episode, is if you are founding a company or a startup based and it's entirely based on the tech that you're having built, you are not going to be able to buy a certain amount of development and then just launch without continuing to buy development. It doesn't work that way. Like it's if you are building an internal tool where you're going to train people how to use it, you can probably get away with, okay, this is the functionality that I need. And I'm like, we already do this every day. We can describe exactly the processes that we need. We can tell you exactly the problems that we're trying to solve. And there, maybe you want to add to it every few months or something like that, but essentially you can get it done. But if you're starting a company based on it, there are so many things that you don't know that there, and you can't pressure yourself to try to anticipate all of it, because you'll overspend on development that you don't need, and then you won't have enough runway for the development that you do need. So it's important to understand that, like, if you're serious about starting a company that's based on the tech that you're building on Bubble or anything else, that build as leanly as possible, but also understand that you're going to have to invest in continuous development. As otherwise, if you don't plan for that, you'll outspend yourself, and then you'll be stuck with something that doesn't quite work for your customers. So I suppose they're the unicorn examples where you get it built and you can go a while, but for the most part, my clients are, before we even finish with the review and launch of their initial build, they're already investing in continuing follow-on work. I'll get off my soapbox now.
It's interesting, and it's worth thinking about. It's a lot different, when you're a solo entrepreneur versus working in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I did app dev a long, long time ago, and I had a team, and before we started a project, we would brainstorm it, and we'd lock ourselves in a room, and it was great. And it was pretty easy with 3, 4, or 5 people to really think through a pretty complicated app, get it all on the board, get it all written down, and then start working with a plan. But alone, I find it a lot more difficult to think through every possible avenue.
Yeah, and there's the I would call it sage advice from Steve Blank: get out of the building. If you're trying to think about these things by yourself, or even with an internal team, and you're not doing actually talking to your would-be ideal customers, then you're not getting the feedback that you need. And there's a specific way to get that feedback as well. You have to be careful, because people will love to tell you what you want to hear, and that's not useful in practical terms.
In regards to that, everyone should read the mum test.
The mom.
No, that's what the book is called, the mum test.
Okay. I haven't heard of it. Tell us about it.
It's basically how to speak to people regarding something you're like a product or a service you're about to launch, and get real feedback without sort of getting into people's biases, and without influencing them in a way that sort of they give you useless information, like a question like, would you use this product? That's useless. Don't ever ask anybody that question, because most people are just going to say, oh yeah, I'd use it, but then they wouldn't. The mum test, if you were to sum it all up, the mum test is basically, you just ask somebody regarding your product or service. Let's say you're doing taxes or something, right? And you're launching a SaaS product. We wouldn't go in and say, oh, do you guys, would you use this product if it was available? You go in and go, what are you currently doing? Like, how are you currently going through your taxes? And then just sort of listen to all of their responses and get feedback that way, with open-ended questions that don't have to do anything with your product. So don't mention your product at all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very consistent. When I was in the startup Tucson incubator in 2015, we had a guest speaker come in and tell us basically a method of performing customer research. And it was very much in line with what you're saying, but she had it boiled down to one question. She was like, here's the question that you're going to ask. And it's going to, it's going to vary a little bit based on the information you're trying to elicit from the person. But it's tell me about the last time and then finish the sentence.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's from the mum test.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was very like you can have an entire hour and a half long conversation with someone just by repeating that question in variations and getting very, very detailed information. That is actually very useful. And again, not mentioning your product or your solution at all, not even like interjecting. It's not a conversation, right? You're asking the questions and they just keep talking because that's what you want, is you want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
And you want to influence them in any way except to get the information that you want. So
yeah, because if people keep talking about what they're currently doing, they'll tell you everything you need to know. And from that you can go, okay, well, this is how they're doing it. And you can figure it out and actually a good solution just based off that without asking them or mentioning, your product or service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool. So have you done any customer research like that?
Yeah, a little bit actually. And in terms of what I'm working on, people are doing it, but they're doing it in a very inefficient way. And how would I say it? It's not really too well put together. Like, it's just sort of, there's no real website or service that you go to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sort of like people just do it offhand. So I found out a lot by just having general conversations with people about whether they're involved in it and whether they engage in embedding and stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah.
I think I did it as a concentrated effort back in 2015 when I was doing research for my massage startup. And then I did it a little bit a couple years ago when I was researching something. And it was fascinating, like the answers that you get and the detail that you get as a result. It's also fun to listen to someone. People like to talk. One of the things she warned us about in our class was like, give it to minute 35 and then they'll open up. Like, if you're paying attention to them for 35 whole minutes, then they realize that you actually want to hear what they say and the floodgates will open. So. Well, sweet. I feel handicapped without my computer. It's like a certain level of anxiety, not being able to share my screen and bounce around and talk about stuff, but it's kind of cool just chatting as well.
Well, all I have left to do is upload the data and clean up this sign up, which I'll have done this afternoon.
That's awesome, Jay. So
I know.
Launching on Monday?
I will probably be live, I think by Monday, if not sooner.
That's awesome.
So it's a soft launch. I haven't done anything with it yet. I have my VA and another, a 1099 person working on what to do next. And I'm kind of, it's hard to communicate a creative brief. And although I am a freelance writer and I get creative briefs and I've written a million of them, I didn't give these people a great one, probably because I know them and I kind of thought they could read my mind. Oops. So they've sent me some ideas and I'm like, but this is what everyone else is doing. Every other person selling anything related to gardening has these same kinds of images and messages. That's not at all what I want to do, so I sent them some more stuff and, hopefully cleared it up. So they already turned on, they set up the Instagram account and they set up the Facebook page, which you need to do Instagram. We're going to do Pinterest. It seems to be a fairly kind of an under the radar sort of way to do marketing. And it's cheap, or free. So we're going to be doing that. Not really focused right now on TikTok or Snapchat. I just think the demographic, I think I can hit that same demographic on Instagram without repeating the effort. And I don't want to do a ton of videos because, I want to build this as opposed to creating marketing assets.
I was going to say TikTok is a gold mine if you can use it correctly. The amount of views and stuff you can get just by tagging it correctly, adding a bit of music and targeting your hashtags correctly, you can get a ton of views. So, and if you're self-conscious about, being on video, you can always make videos without, with voiceovers and text. So something to consider.
So it sounds like you've looked into it a good bit.
Yeah, like I posted my first video the other day and it got like 700 views in like 15 minutes. So,
what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the phone with them next week and I will be all about the TikTok and they're going to be like, would you please stop pivoting? You told us Instagram.
No, Instagram is rubbish now because the reach on Instagram is like what it is on Facebook now because they're trying to get people to buy ads on it and promote their content. But TikTok has a very early, they're very early in the process of their ad platform, so the reach is not limited at all compared to Facebook. So Instagram.
Are you buying ads on TikTok or are you just creating content?
No, so ads on TikTok now are incredibly expensive, but I don't see why you would do that because if you create content anyway and you hashtag it right, you use a popular song, you use some text, you put a good cover picture on it, you're gonna get a heap of views anyway. So it's sort of like burning money a little bit right now.
Well, so I've looked at TikTok. I don't use a lot of social media at all myself. So I'm kind of like, trying not to, the only thing I use Reddit a lot. Other than that, anyway, my point is when I look at TikTok, I can't think of a great, how do you push an app with videos? You know what I mean? You don't just want screenshots, you want something interesting.
No, it's content. It's like, are you actively doing your flowering and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm actively flowering. I built a trellis this morning.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Just record that, hashtag it correctly, add a cool song, and boom, you're like, have you got a hashtag for us? I'll look up something now while I've got TikTok in front of me.
I don't know, gardening app? Sounds like a pretty boring hashtag.
No,
they've got hundreds of millions of users. It's,
hashtag green thumb.
Hashtag gardening has 2.7 billion views. Gardening 101 has 2.1 billion, 221 million, 258, Garden has 4.6 billion views. So no, there's definitely a huge market here that you could be reaching.
Okay, I will be spending a lot of my time this weekend reading about TikTok then and looking at TikToks.
I found a fantastic video because I only jumped on it the other day myself. But I watched this fantastic video on YouTube and this girl, it goes for about half an hour, but she walks you through, it's like a sort of like a mini course on how to use TikTok. And she gives some great pointers on the specific things that you need to do for videos to sort of, reach a lot more people. I'll see if I can find it for you. Hang on.
Yes, I definitely want that.
Yeah, that really helped me. And yeah, I threw a video up and it got a ton of views in a very short amount of time.
You said you got 715 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
My buddy
fantastic.
got 70,000 in like 15 minutes. I was like, you're ridiculous.
That would be like enough, like, you know, within a week, I would, or less than, I mean, in no time, if 1% signed up, I could be selling advertising that day, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you start small, you know. It's my first video, so I was pretty pleased with it. But as it grows, you know, you'll reach more people.
Can you show us your video? Also, I definitely want that link if you can find it. I just Googled on YouTube and there's a lot of how to use TikTok. I'd like to find the one that you said was good.
Yep, I'm just trying to find it now. I might have to get back to you because I've got a big list of videos here.
You know, I will be constantly texting you and hitting you up on Facebook. Where is it, Reece? Where is it, Reece? Where is it?
Hang on.
Hey, Kim,
Her
are you
name wasn't Rachel Peterson, is it?
I'll
No,
got
that
it.
was too short. I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
for
don't know.
30-minute videos with women.
I'm gonna put you in charge of doing our TikToks, Kim. It's gonna have to be under a Kim, because I've sworn signing up for TikTok. So
Yeah, I mean, even that can be a big thing for you too, Tonya. Like, jump on TikTok and start talking, and talk about what you're working on, and you know the different kinds of services you offer and that sort of stuff, and see where
poor
it takes.
Kim. Poor Kim's gonna have to do it because she's asked me for like 30-second like video or something, or 2-minute video, and it's like been months and I haven't done it for her. So she's like, "What's wrong with you? I'm trying to get you grow your business."
Aaron told her to take a shower and dress up, get your hair fixed. Do a 2-minute video.
Like, dress up, and that was it. It's like, dress up.
Yeah.
Nope, not doing it.
She was like, pass.
Like bubble point, like tips in like TikTok videos.
Yeah, I've seen, actually, Sandra was sending me some TikTok videos that were related to Bubble and other things, no code, like a few months ago. I think he got tired of them to me because I'm not on TikTok. So
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok either. My mom is sending me TikToks like left and right all day. I'm like,
Mom
"Girl,
is?
just stop." Yes. She
It's
says,
like that, what is it? I don't know. It's some mobile phone ad. Your mom is, I see this mom dancing. I'm like, is that the demographic? I thought that, I mean, I know that it's changed, but
It's
I'm
definitely
Googling.
very wide range. Like, it's not like Snapchat, which is like predominantly like teenage crowd, you know?
wait, is that even a thing anymore? Snapchat?
I
So
don't
it-
think so.
like TikTok, but TikTok's taken over.
My mom was, sending me dog pictures, like TikTok videos at like 11 in the morning, like at night, of like dog like feet, cute dog feet. I'm like, what is this? You're sending me this right now. They're adorable though.
Jay, I just sent that link through for that video.
fabulous. Thank you. Can
No
we see
worries.
your TikTok?
Once I
about-
release my platform, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I am dying to see it.
just keeping everything under wraps right now, so I can coordinate everything, and then I'll show you at the end.
Awesome.
But honestly, it was very, very simple. All I did was recorded like my screen with my phone, and then added because you can do text to speech. So I just typed in something, converted it to text to speech, and then whacked a cover on it, hashtagged it correctly, and sent it out, and that's it.
Was it easier to do text to speech than just record yourself speaking?
Oh yeah, you just type it and then you press text to speech, and it'll either give you a female voice or a male voice that speaks for you.
Oh, like the typical like female voice that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And did you go to a where did you get your music? You said pick a popular song. I mean, where can you get
Yeah, so
free snippets?
when you set up your app, you can when you set up your video, down in the corner there's like a thing to add songs, and you can go in there and just pick a popular song, just anything that's popular at the moment, something by Justin Bieber or something. And
I don't even know.
no, because that people search by songs on the platform. So if you can hit popular songs, then you're going to reach more people.
Really? I had no idea people search by
Yeah,
song.
it's so common. You'll see like in the community, like people using the same song over and over and over again for different scenarios.
I've heard people complaining about that.
Yeah, definitely like they'll play some like trap song like over and over and over again. It's funny.
I think that my VAs are pro Instagram, especially because they use it. You know, it's what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, it's like, but that like Reece was saying, the attention there is clogged up, and TikTok is so fresh, so new. Like people swarm, and of all kinds too. It's not like a limited range of age. That's what's really fascinating about TikTok. It's
Yeah,
super
I
easy.
just checked and it's about 50-50 men and women. It's not quite, but it's a little bit more men, but not many more. 53% male, and about half are under 34, which leaves, you know, more than half over 34. That's my mark. Well, my market is everybody, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should, if you're out flowering all the time, you can literally just go out and record what you're doing. And then once you've recorded it, you can come back and do a voiceover on it through the app, through the TikTok app. Also, I recommend creating text for everything you say on the app too, because lots of people listen to it without sound. And if they're able to see the text, you know, they can follow along with what's happening.
Yeah,
That is great. Great input. Thank you. I'm going to use that. I actually went and bought a knockoff GoPro so that I could just do my stuff around the garden and, you know, get video of it because I figured I could use it.
Jay, if you posted like a video or two every day on TikTok, you were just consistent every single day, Monday through Monday.
My yard would look so fantastic.
You would be on fire, literally on fire.
Is there an optimal length?
No, you can make it as long as you want.
The short snippets seem to be pretty popular though.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it comes down to your content, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Huh, you guys are pretty motivating.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't be bummed if you don't like get many views on your first video or anything. It just takes time. Yeah, you just have to hashtag correctly, make sure you're hitting the right amount of hashtags, and that, you know, put a bit of variation in it as well.
Variation in the hashtags.
Yeah.
Experiment.
So don't just put all gardening hashtags. Try and go small, but also have a few larger hashtags as well.
Okay.
I would even suggest studying other garden like TikTok accounts.
Yeah, do that.
Like there's definitely a lot. You'll pick up on patterns and different things that lure other people in. So definitely worth it.
I will definitely be looking into that over the weekend. That is really helpful.
But, and this is a big but, do not let this postpone your launch.
No, I'm going to launch. I'm going to get it live and get the data uploaded before I do anything, because I don't want people coming unless I have data in there, because the uploading a plant is a pain in the neck. But if the plant's already in there, it's not a pain in the neck, and then it's just a couple steps, and you can skip them. So
are you charging straight out of the gate for your app, or are you going to get feedback first? And
I'm going pure advertising. I'm not charging at all.
Okay.
I was going to originally save a lot of the cooler things for premium, do a freemium model. But if I want a community, then it doesn't make sense to put up roadblocks. I want a bigger community. And I think I can end up doing better monetizing with advertising. If there's a huge community, than I can with selling subscriptions. Because then I'm going to end up with only a segment of people who garden. I want everybody to use it because I want those message boards to be sizzling with activity.
Yeah.
And so to make that, so that has to be public. So anyway, I figured go with making it free. And then one of my marketing messages is garden freely. And then there's the rest of it, which is manage your home garden and connect with other gardeners or something like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I plan to build I'm going to sell my own advertising. I'm not going to do AdSense or anything like that, because I really, really, really don't like data tracking and I don't want to participate in it. And I don't
Yeah.
want to give a cut. So so the next thing after I launch is going to be to plan and build the marketing platform, the advertising platform. So they'll be self-service. You can just click, you can buy an ad. Me or my VAs will check the ad to make sure it's about gardening and that it's pleasing. And then boom, we have your money and you've picked your spots and we've scheduled it. Not too clear on all that. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, make sure you get product market fit before you start going into advertising.
Oh, I'm not even going to worry about building the, first I'm going to have the data uploaded, get users. I don't know how many users I need to have before I start thinking about the realities of, offering ads, but I do want to have the back end ready so that when it's time, I can just turn the trigger. And I think that I tend to think in general about everything that it's not quite yet time. Time isn't perfect. I need to not do that. As soon as I have 10,000 or 5,000 users, I don't know how many, then I'm going to be like, okay, ads for sale.
Sounds good.
How many users do you guys think that is? What is that number?
I don't think there's a number you can put on it. You'll know, like when you've got enough people, you got enough traffic coming to your website, because when it comes to ads, you know, that's all based on traffic and views. So you'll know.
I feel like you'll know when you don't have any time to do anything else.
That'll be horrible.
Yeah. That's when it's your customers are literally your babies.
Well, another thing I've been reading a lot about or thinking a lot about, or both, is how to get a community off the ground. That idea of when you go to a message board or a forum and you see a lot of empty or old posts, it's, nobody wants to be the first one on the dance floor.
No, well, that's the same with any business as well. So it just comes down to slowly building it, posting content, slowly building it.
Find, like I said, I had mentioned this before, but there should be a reason why someone should come to your community. Like the Bubble Forum is the drive there is people are going there for help. So that's a natural there. Facebook groups, people are going to find specific groups that cater to their needs. You have to find a reason why these people come to this community. That really should be your sole focus. And then once you figure something out on that, you go from there. But
I think that people are going to, there's a lot of useful things in it, like keeping track of your harvests and such, which are fun. But I think the main thing that's appealing about Garden Brain is that you can interact with other people who share your passion.
Mm-hmm. I think in terms of building community, let's see. I feel like for the first time ever, a community that I started is starting to take off. So with CoCreative NoCode, I had a big win this morning. I realized that I wasn't tagged in a comment, but someone had asked a question in the big bubble group, and the answer was my website that somebody else offered, and they didn't tag me. And I was like, that's cool.
There you go. Produce good content, people will come.
Yep. And in fact, he mentioned that there's pretty really good free content there too, right? So I was like, that's awesome. Sending people. So just start putting out helpful information and find find people who would come to your office hours every day to hang out and talk about gardening, right? Not saying that you have to replicate my model, but for me, it's the consistency, right? Is I think Reece, you mentioned when you first hop on the phone and you're like, oh, you're doing all of that and you still have time for office hours. And it's well, it's in my schedule. It's non-negotiable for me to be here. So, but I found that out with my massage business too. It was really funny because I had a brick and mortar massage business and I had this huge sign made and hung up outside of my my shop. And you know, the whole thing, like, if you build it, they will come or whatever. And
That's
we're
rubbish.
like, it is totally rubbish, right? And
Yeah.
we're sitting there and like, and it's not taking off and it's not taking off and it's not taking off. And I'm getting scared, right? And so I bailed on it because at some point you have to like, okay, this isn't working. And then it was about, I bailed on it after about 6 or 7 months. I was like, I can't continue this. And so I stopped. And about a month after, my sign was still up. It hadn't been taken down yet. That's when the phone started ringing. And I learned a very valuable lesson, very expensive, valuable lesson. It was like, yeah, if you're just consistent and you're putting something out there, and like if you really believe that it's valuable and people, you know, will start eventually to come to it, have the patience to stick with it until that happens. But that's a double-edged sword, right? Because then you could stick with it too long as well.
Yeah, you got to know the right time to pull the plug.
Yeah, and apparently 6 months isn't it, just so you know.
No.
I feel like there's a sixth sense you develop, you start to realize when things don't work, when things you should pivot, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like you just grow this sort of emotional attachment. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the sooner you figure that out, the better. So always talk to your customers, get updates from them, find out what's working, what's not. But do it in the mum test way, where you're asking how they're using it, and sort of just read the mum test.
Yeah. Oh, this was before I was in that incubator. So
Oh yeah.
I didn't have any of that. Well, I think my biggest mistake, and I've said this before, my biggest mistake with that whole endeavor was I was trying to found a startup and I kept asking people for business advice and they gave me great business advice and I built a business instead of a startup. And that's fine if I had wanted a business, but that's not what I wanted. So
Yeah.
I ended up out of runway before I could really launch a startup from my efforts. So. The difference between a business and a startup, for those who might be curious, because people ask me, well, what do you mean? What's the difference? The difference is a startup, you don't already know that there's a market for what you're trying to do. Like you're trying to either clone a market or create a market for your offer. And it's a much harder proposition than just, you know, going after an existing market, which is building a business. Well, awesome. I thought today we were going to spend some time building something cool, but the internet had other ideas.
Right.
So
I didn't even catch that. Did something happen?
oh yeah, my internet cut out. So like I can't even I'm on my phone right now. Like
Right.
my computer is running right now, like keeping everything going, but I wasn't able to share my screen and do all of the things that I normally do on office hours. So that's okay. We'll be back next week and the internet will be working. I hereby declare the internet will work next week. And we'll go from there. Yeah, we're looking for suggestions and ideas. If you happen to be watching this video live or watching the replay, please comment with ideas of prototypes of features that you want to see, any kind of I would like at some point in the next couple of weeks to actually spend one of our office hour sessions and actually build an app together. Like not obviously it won't be like some perfectly like polished app, but a functional app where we can actually have people come and sign up and use the app. So we're accepting ideas on what that app might be.
Have you heard of a place where coffee makers can sell their own coffee? I guess that would be
a market for for
coffee, for like coffee growers.
coffee growers. Like, oh, that's interesting.
Like
No.
like a blue bottle, something like that, but specifically for actual independent growers. This is an idea that I had a while back. I thought of just going to talk to some actual coffee growers. First, there's like none here, so
Yeah.
There's
There are honey makers, there are apiarists.
yeah. I was
None
just
for us.
thinking like a marketplace for smaller independent like farmers or
Doesn't that exist? I mean, does that not
I know the
exist?
farmers does for sure, but
I recently saw an app built on Bubble that is all about like local flower growers
oh,
and being able to find locally grown flowers as opposed to imported flowers.
I guess the question would be which particular customer lacks that two-way marketplace, right? So I was
Right.
thinking about coffee growers have an issue selling their coffee,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that even a problem?
I
Uh,
mean, who are coffee growers? Do they have internet? Are they third world country
That's what
people?
I'm
And
saying. Because I'm thinking a lot of them probably are in South America, but I have heard of situations where people have their own independent things. I've not spoken to anybody directly, but yeah, maybe like a
Hey
marketplace.
team, I will leave you. Thank you very much.
have a good one. Thank you.
Here.
Okay, bye bye.
thanks, mate. Bye.
Maybe like a marketplace for local growers to sell their like produce. Is that even a thing? That should be a
Locally
thing.
Well, if you look at like for like a CSA or something, you'll see a lot of crap websites. But people don't seem to have trouble finding them. I think their marketing is more the problem.
Yeah,
Mm.
but like a shipping service. Well, you wouldn't want to ship like nice apples,
Now there's a huge logistics component.
right? Logistical for sure.
Thomas,
I've definitely heard of this kind of app.
There's,
But I mean,
there's a lot of that here.
I've heard of
where's here?
When you sell your like fresh apples or fresh whatever fruits we have here. And
Oh
they-
yeah.
yeah, right. And they sell it way below market price.
Yeah,
They do it themselves.
it's funny you should say that because we were running a delivery service here in Cebu, and we were thinking about getting into sort of connecting farmers with the grocers, but I mean the competition is high, and you basically compete away all your profits, so it's not really worth it, so yeah, that's why we didn't pursue that avenue.
we could build, so here locally in Tucson, we have something called Produce on Wheels Without Waste. And essentially this fantastic woman here in Tucson realized that the farmers around here were paying a lot of money to dump vegetables and fruits that they couldn't sell to the grocer. And so she started rescuing the produce. So instead of them having to pay for pay the dump to be able to dump it, she comes with big 18-wheeler trucks and picks it up.
Oh my God,
And
it's
pack
cool.
it up. And then on Saturday mornings, they have several pop-up markets. She does this, I think, in Phoenix and Tucson now. So they have like 5 to 10 locations where people can go and pay $10 for like 60 pounds of produce.
What's her digital presence like?
It's very organic the last time I looked. But I was thinking we could build like a DoorDash for produce on wheels without waste.
We could just like build something for them.
Yeah, build something where people can put their orders in for that and then have it delivered and pay, maybe even like quite a bit of money just for the delivery, so they don't have to go and get it themselves. And they're like, even if they paid $20 to have it delivered, they're still only paying $30 for 60 pounds of produce. So
If speaking of startup ideas, if you guys are ever searching for something, you should go to a site called Kernel. It's like a startup idea community where they just share all these startup ideas.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Can you
that's
put that in the chat?
KERN.AL.
Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely check that out and sign up to their newsletter, because you get all the ideas sent to your newsletter.
That's awesome. What is it again? Once more.
That's
I'll post the link in the chat.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
yeah, because we got to pick up something, like pick up an idea, and then like maybe not next week because my mom will be in town, but maybe the week after we'll just have a super long episode and we'll just build out the basics of it and start inviting people the same day to it. Won't be pretty, folks, but it'll work. That's the point. That's the goal. So, Jay, I don't know if you heard, but they postponed the startup weekend.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. They didn't reach their marketing milestones, so they're going to do it sometime in November instead. So when it happens, though, you, Thomas, and me, and then anyone else who wants to join in. Kim, I don't know if you want to participate in that. It's not a requirement of your employment, but you're welcome. So.
Yeah, I think that sounds super fun and exciting.
We'll get Kim on responsive.
Yeah, and yeah, you way to torture. And Reece, if you wanted to join us, you're welcome as well. Anyone who's watching, you can come on and apply. I'll have a certain number of spots that I'll purchase for people, and we can just have a team, and we'll take an idea and maybe not end up working on our own idea, but working as a team to help someone else realize their idea, and over a weekend. And so it would be a lot of fun. It will be.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think I would go ahead and wrap up the 100th episode, and we will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time for more office hours. If you are watching this live on Facebook, please go ahead and give the video a like. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, same, please like the video and go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos. And we will see you back here on Monday. Thank you so much, Thomas, Kim, Reece, Jay, and Juan, for being here today. It was wonderful to celebrate with you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.